Studio, come on. All right, and we're live. Welcome to the Vegas Benchwarmer Podcast. My name is Eric. He hate me 702. This is,
Geremy with a G.
and our buddy Vince is sick at home, and so he will not be on today. Jeremy, you want to make sure that our sound's good and everything on YouTube.
Yep.
But today we are going to be talking about my favorite topic in the whole world, the Chiefs.
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we're gonna be talking about the Chiefs and the Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Raiders win
Don't do
game.
that.
So basically, we're gonna be talking about their free agency moves, what we think, some about their draft. We'll probably get into a little bit about draft positioning and stuff like that. What's going on in the draft, and who knows, you might get into Deshaun Watson stuff too. So because there's a whole bunch of shit going on with that. Nobody ever knows exactly what the fuck is going on. You don't know who to believe. But I digress. We're gonna bring this shit back, okay? So we're gonna let Jeremy start. Jeremy, go ahead and start. What do you think is the biggest signing, or what was your biggest? Where were you most happy? What's the signing you were most happy about with the Raiders?
I think there's actually three now. John Brown, Kenyan Drake, and Willie Sneed.
Okay. You're happy
I
with
think
all
John
three of those?
Brown. I don't think we still don't have what you would call a true number one receiver, but I think John Brown is the closest we can get, and I believe he's going to help Henry Ruggs figure out how to separate on his routes.
Okay, so you don't have a true receiver, but you do have a true receiver, and that is Darren Waller.
We don't have a true we don't have a true number one.
You have one. It's Darren Waller. Just like George Kittle.
He's a tight end.
I know, but George Kittle's still their number one target.
I'm talking about the wide receiver position.
Yeah, I know. I see what you're saying. I'm just saying you have a number one target where even though John Brown might not be like a normal wide receiver, number one wide receiver in this scenario, I think he's more like it helps you guys out a lot because he is the closest thing you have to a number one, but he still does not have to carry the number one load because of Darren Waller. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What did you said also about the Kenyan Drake? Would you like that?
The Kenyan Drake, it I don't know. I don't want to say it upset me when I first seen it,
Okay.
but after looking at it a while, I mean, I like it. His contract for this season is only $3 million.
Yeah, he's got a little ass contract.
And then next year his contract's $8 million.
Yeah, that's still not bad though.
No, not for running back like Drake. But the Willie Sneed, I really like the Willie Sneed pickup because I think he was essentially brought in to help Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
Because they're both similar. Neither one of them are very fast, but they're good over the middle. Kind of like Darren Waller over the middle.
Yeah. And Willie Sneed is sure hand. I mean, we had that conversation a couple weeks ago. How I thought Willie Sneed and Kenny Stills were very similar receivers, and I think Willie Sneed is a lot better than what a lot of people give him credit for. I just think he wasn't playing with a real passing game. So, but he was still like, and they had Hollywood Brown. I think that's very good for you guys with your with the offense that you have. I think the way because now you guys can spread it out. You have Brown, Ruggs, Sneed, Waller. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know how much of a running back, how much of a receiving back Kenyan Drake is, but even then he could come out on your receiving downs and you still have.
Well, the reports are he's going to be used a lot as a receiver.
That's what I was thinking because Josh Jacobs really isn't. Yeah.
I mean, Jacobs improved last season on his receiving, but
that's not his main. You don't want that to be his main goal.
yeah,
You kind of want him to get a rest on the sideline.
Right. So, I mean, I like all three of those. I mean, we talked, what was it, the other day about the signings that we've made.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we didn't really make a big splash in free agency, so to speak. We didn't sign any, like, big name, like fucking, like an Antonio Brown or...
Well, you don't want to, or like
an
a
Odell
Juju
Beckham Jr.
Smith-Schuster or Kenny
like
Galladay or Trent Williams.
Yeah, but I don't think the Raiders had a bad free agency. I mean, in my opinion, I think they're a B- or a C for free agency.
Yeah. And again, that depends on what happens. So what do you think about the disappointments? What were your disappointments with some of the signings or some of the things that happened in free agency, whether it's the releasing of players, the decimation, not really the decimation of the offensive line, but,
I think the biggest disappointment was the Rodney Hudson release or the trade.
Yeah.
But after talking to somebody I know in the organization, I see why he requested it. Rumor has it that he was going to retire, but the Raiders found a trade partner, so he chose to stay in the league with the trade.
Okay. Basically, he was just like not one of those. And again, there's a lot of different reasons, but he's been in the league for a minute, and he's consistently.
Yeah, when it's like we talked the other day, I don't know if it was Denzel Good or Gabe Jackson. I think it may have been Gabe Jackson. Him and Gabe Jackson were best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Or him and one of those two were best friends. And when he realized or thought that they weren't coming back after their release, he wanted to either be traded or retire.
Which people like we said off camera, I don't think a lot of people understand how big of a deal that is for a lot of these players with some of their friendships. That is a huge deal. We just saw that in Kansas City with the signing of Jaron Reed, I think that's his name. Yeah, the defensive tackle that we just signed, and he was huge friends with Frank Clark from their time in Seattle. Frank Clark actually helped recruit him, and he signed on a 1-year deal. So, wait, hold on. I don't think we're live no more.
But I mean, the Raiders I think they've addressed their issues on the defensive line on the interior with the Quentin Jefferson, the Darius Philon, the Solomon Thomas signings. They brought in Matt Dickerson, so they brought in a bunch of veterans. But one place that we all feel that they needed to make a big free agency splash was in the secondary with a free safety or a cornerback.
Okay.
And they still haven't done that.
Well, let's kind of address your line because, me and you talk all the time, and you have a better insight of what Raiders have done with the offensive line. But if you read a lot of the reports online, a lot of them are basically just talking about how the Raiders have decimated their line. And how even though they've made some good signings, it's one of those things where their line basically, which they're losing Rodney. What was it? I think it's 3 players you guys lost off your line. 3 trades, right?
We lost Hudson, Jackson, and Brown.
Yeah. So,
but the Brown loss really isn't a loss because in 2 years he only played in 16 games.
And you traded him anyway. Yeah, true. That's true. That is 100. So that's what I'm saying. That is the main, a lot of things that I've seen and I've read about winners and losers. The main loser fact that you have is your line, which I'm sure you've seen online. So, would you like to address that with what?
Well, it's like we talked the other day. The Raiders had.
I gotta go check on something. Keep talking.
The Raiders had the highest paid offensive line in the league, and with the whole cap issue being lowered this year and everything, I think they had to do something because I mean the Raiders line was still ranked in the bottom of the NFL. Hey.
What'd you say? I had to go check on my
But
dinner
like
real
I was
quick.
saying, while you were away doing whatever you were doing,
I had to go check because when we were having the technical difficulties, I started doing dinner. So, because I didn't know how long it was going to be, and Alyssa was getting home soon. So, I'm like, let me start. So, the timer went off. So, I had to go check on that shit real quick.
so yeah, like I said, while you were away, the Raiders had one of the, if not the most expensive, one of the most expensive offensive lines in the league over the last couple years, and we were still ranked in the bottom of the league.
Yep.
In run and pressures and all that. So I mean, the Raiders had to do something, especially with the whole lowering of the cap this season and everything. I wish they would have released Hudson and brought him back on a cheaper deal,
Like they did with Richie
but
Incognito.
yeah. But I mean, the backup center we had for Hudson, he's a good center. I mean, when he played, I believe he played one of the games last season. I can't remember. He was good, and then which is Andre James, and then we signed what's his name, Nick Martin, the center from the Cardinals, and then we also have Incognito who can play center also.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we have options. I kind of like what they're doing with the offensive line. I mean, if you have the highest paid offensive line in the league, you kind of hope that they're in the top 5 in the league. And when they're not there, you gotta do something.
Yeah, shake it up.
No.
Yeah. No, see, I like I said, which is the only big surprise I had being outside as a Chiefs fan, looking at the Raiders was the Kenyan Drake. Which again, when you talk about his contract, you're 100% right. Because once you go in and see that contract being signed, you're like, wait, that's not that big of a deal. But again, my initial reaction is, why the fuck are you signing a running back when you have other pressing needs? But and also after looking at the contract, you guys can opt out of that contract next year before the roster bonus kicks in, and it only most of the money cost you this year. So
Yeah,
it's like $8
I think
million
what
in
they're gonna
dead
do with
cap.
Drake
Yeah.
is they're gonna use him where they were gonna use Lynn Bowden.
So and then you
They're
guys
gonna
got
do the same thing.
you beefed up your defensive line a little bit with Yannick Ngakwe.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's. I mean, I don't think you guys had like. I agree with you overall. I think you'd be like. I think you'd be more like a C plus, a B minus. I think you addressed a lot of
Yep.
your needs. I'm not 100% sure what your picks were and stuff in what you got back in return for your trades. But again, Rodney Hudson was probably done. Um, Gabe Jackson, I don't know much about him. I don't know about fucking offensive line. But besides on my team, but I like I said, I love the John Brown pickup. Which again, I talked to you about that off. Which I'll explain to everybody my thought process on that real quick. They're going to be a nightmare to fucking guard. You guys have no clue how hard this is as a defense. And being a Chiefs fan, I have to see them twice a fucking year, and I saw exactly what Henry Ruggs can do up close and personal. Everybody remember the Jets game where they blitzed and left Henry Ruggs on one-on-one coverage. What the fuck are you going to do now? They got John Brown and Henry Ruggs. Oh, and if you
And
decide
Darren
that you
Wallace.
go fuck with them, they got Darren Waller coming across the middle. They gonna fuck all that shit up inside. Then just Just to add that shit on top, they got Willie Sneed coming up from the. He might have him on the outside with John Brown on the slot. They could change all that shit around. They got 3 people, and if you think you got the run covered, here comes that beast Josh Jacobs up the fucking middle. Fuck y'all. So again, like, my only concern is right now is how you guys do in the draft. Of course, we've talked about that, and which we'll get into in a second. And even though your line was one of the most expensive things, coming from somebody that's had a patchwork line this whole entire season, that is not something you want. That will frustrate you more than anything. But again, there's still plenty of time for them to address it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at our line now, it's not really a patchwork because all but the right tackles been on our team.
Yeah, no. But even then, it's just like you guys might be figuring out where to put people in the very beginning of the season, where you guys want people, depending on how they do the training camp. Because we don't know exactly how they're going to do that with the extra.
Well, I think they're going to figure out who to put it. I think the only thing they're going to have to figure out is right tackle.
Okay. So, going on to the best team in the world. Well, we can't say that because they lost. The fucking Tom Brady.
You lost the Super Bowl.
Stop. All right, so my disappointing things were. I'm gonna start with disappointing first because I got some disappointing. My disappointing was Mitchell Schwartz being let go. I am still hoping that they re-sign him, like the Raiders did with Incognito at a lesser deal. That hurt. Damian Williams being let go, not being re-signed, really kind of hurt me as a Chiefs fan because of what he did in the Super Bowl. But again, you were an undrafted free agent that was a Super Bowl hero. If your ass would have played, you were in line for probably a very nice size contract. Now you got to go to the Bears and play with Andy Dalton. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have opted out, but what I'm saying is you probably shouldn't have opted out. So that kind of hurt me. And then, Anthony Sherman. Like, most people don't know who the fuck Anthony Sherman is. Anthony Sherman is one of the greatest fullbacks of all time. Not really, but he is in my eyes just because he's been a Chief forever. And he's a good guy. Those disappointed me. Eric Fisher, I did not care about. I literally wanted to jump up and down. There was a lot of hate going. There was a lot of people talking about, Eric Fisher, this and blah, blah, blah. No! Alyssa knows who Eric Fisher is because of how many fucking times I have screamed at him over the last 9 years we've been together. My problem with Eric Fisher has nothing to do with Eric Fisher. My problem with Eric Fisher is he was the number 1 overall draft pick. That's how bad that draft was. And we're talking about he's gotten better in the last 3 years. Shut the hell up. That's my issue with him. Not surprised about Sammy Watkins being released. I'm not surprised about that at all. We talked about that off camera. He restructured his deal last year. I am surprised he signed with the Ravens. No. I just don't understand how you go from Patrick Mahomes to Lamar Jackson and think you're going to have the same amount. Like, I just don't. Like, if I was a receiver, I'd be like, look, I got Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray. I'd be going around a list of, like, what quarterback am I going to go to? I think he works great with them, but it does not bother me because that means Mecole Hardman gets more snaps along with Demarcus Robinson. I'm going to tell you the move I was the most excited about, okay? And most people probably won't even think about this. They'll be like, who the fuck? I don't care about Joe Tunney. I do care about him, but I wasn't that excited about him. I was happy we bring back Demarcus Robinson. Blake Bell as a tight end, I really didn't care about. Reamers, we re-signed a lot of our people. I was happy we got Taco back. I was very, very happy we bring Greg Dieter back. Greg Dieter's the wide receiver, and we had to bring Charvarius Ward back. I was very, very happy with that. Brian Pringle didn't really care about. Joe Tunney I was happy with. But Daniel Sorensen, I was so mad when I saw that he was an unrestricted free agent. And then I got the news yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that I got the notification that we re-signed him to a 1-year deal, and my whole day brightened up. Like, Darren Sorensen is that guy that, like, a lot of people may not know who he is unless you're a Chiefs fan or a fan of your team. But he's that guy that does everything. He was that guy when Eric Berry got hurt. He was supposed to come in and play mostly strong safety. He's also the same guy that caused a fumble against the Texans in the 24-0 comeback that started it. Like, this guy, I be yelling his name. And you know what really pisses me off? I can't find his jersey.
Really?
I tried to get one. I went to DH Gate. They didn't have one. I could probably get one. I can get one on KansasCityChiefs.com, the website. But, I'm cheap. I got 100%. I ain't spending $120 on a fucking jersey.
Buy all my jerseys from China.
Yeah, same thing. I'm down with that.
$20.
Down with that. Even if they come, I can't say that. That's wrong. So my biggest.
How'd I know what you were about to say?
My biggest, because you know me, we're both like off camera. We're low key assholes. Like, it's just kind of how we are. So
I'm not low key about it.
So. Daniel Sorensen coming back. Thank you very much. I'm going to get your jersey, and I am so happy that you are back. I am lovely that Joe Tunney signed. Tuna, Honey.
I think it's Tooney.
But I didn't know who the fuck he was before he signed. I immediately texted Heath and go, dude, the Patriots signed with us. Who the fuck is this? He's like, oh, that's a good signing. I'm like, okay, that's great. Like, I'll be 100% honest. If you're an offensive line, man, and you are not one of the guys that is on my team, basically the Raiders, because of the fact that I talk to him about it all the time, or somebody that has done something incredible, I don't know who you are, and I'm sorry. I'm not that person. I only know who Trent Williams was because of what happened with him in Washington. I had no clue who that dude was before that. I didn't even know he was with the Niners. By the way, he almost signed with us. Just to let everybody know, he almost came to the Chiefs. But they said he went to the Niners.
Shanahan.
Shanahan redid that. Quentin! Q! Can you come take the pork chops out of the stove and stir the beans?
Hey, I like how you took your headset out thinking we wouldn't be able to hear you yelling.
I know, when the microphone's right there like a motherfucker. I'm dumb. I'm dumb as hell. You know what, though? I really took my headset out because a lot of times I jerk my head around and I move because, I'm very animated. And I didn't want that shit snapping out. That's why the microphone here don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter. So, what are you looking at for the Raiders to draft in? Where are you looking at? Okay. Defense, right? Okay, so.
A lot of defense.
Let's just start this. Who would be your first pick? Or first position, if you had a choice of anybody, but like say a quarterback fell down, say a receiver fell, like are you still 100% sold on defense, or you're saying take the best available talent and fill the shit out later?
We talked about this the other day. Like if Justin Fields somehow falls to the Raiders.
What pick y'all got?
I think the Raiders need to take Fields.
What pick you got?
I was like, if Justin Fields falls to the Raiders, I think the Raiders need to take Justin Fields.
No, what pick do you guys have?
I think it's 16 or 17.
If Justin Fields falls to the motherfucking Raiders, you don't even have to worry about that because the Patriots will take him. But if Justin Fields falls to the Raiders, I'm calling shenanigans on the whole fucking NFL league. I'm fucking calling shenanigans on their ass. How the fuck did he fall that far?
There's no way on God's green earth he should fall to us, but in the instance that he does, I hope the Raiders have enough. I hope they got enough brains to say, let's just take Justin Fields.
Okay, so is that the only?
We've seen how when Raiders draft defense in the first round, we see how that turns out.
Not good. Colin Farrell.
Not great. It's Cleveland Farrell.
Cleveland Farrell, whatever the fuck his name is. Colin Farrell's an actor. That's right. Colin Farrell's an actor. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'd like to see them, the 17th pick. I'd be surprised if Mac Jones or Justin Fields falls that far.
Oh, Mac
Jones.
If they
do, the Raiders they gotta jump on that.
So this is the thing. So we know Trevor Lawrence is going 1. Right now, people think Zach Wilson's going 2 with the Jets. A lot of people are saying that the Niners are taking Mac Jones, but I think they could take Fields. If the Niners don't, if either one of them fall and the Patriots are there, I think the Patriots are going to take one of those two. So outside of Justin Fields' fall, would you want Mac Jones if he fell?
I wouldn't mind having him. I mean, you got to look at it this way. Carr can be released or traded next season with no dead cap hit after next season.
I understand. The let him sit behind Carr for a year. The Alex Smith thing.
Yeah.
This is my issue, okay? And I don't watch much college football. So for me not to watch much college football until the playoffs come in, for me to know this, you should not draft an Alabama quarterback. You just shouldn't. There are certain positions in my mind that certain conferences and school drafts better. Name the last good Alabama quarterback. All of them won titles. Like, we can't go and go, oh my God, AJ McCarron didn't win a title. So-and-so didn't win a title. Who was a quarterback before Mac Jones? Tua won a title. Jalen Hurts won a title. Like, you could consist all of these. And look, I'm not saying Tua's bad. I'm not saying he's bad. But I wouldn't have drafted him. I wouldn't have drafted him at all. I wouldn't have drafted. I don't draft Alabama quarterbacks because their deck is literally stacked. Like, two of the receivers.
I think Tua would have been better off on any other team but the Dolphins.
Oh, I kind of agree with you in that scenario. But I think the
Dolphins were a fucking dumpster fire.
I think he may be the exception. But let's just think about this. They could possibly have 4 wide receivers drafted in the first round in the last 2 years. In the top 20 picks. And we know their fucking running back, Najee Harris, is going in the second round. And before that, the running backs used to, like, they've always been loaded with talent. So I'm never sold on an Alabama quarterback. Yes, can Mac Jones make all the throws? Yes, but so can Justin Fields. So can Trevor Lawrence. So can fucking Zach Wilson. Most of they got to work on pass progression and all that other shit. Most of that shit can come down. But, I mean, the only good thing you say about Mac Jones is he can make all the throws, but he has a stacked thing. So can he make all the throws when he doesn't have Jared Judy and all, or Waddles and all them? And secondly, he's played against some of the best competition ever. Because the SEC is it's a gauntlet. But I'm not, and again, this is coming, I will 100% admit. So if you guys don't like what I'm saying, I'm sorry. You can go to the comments, you can go to the Twitter, we can have this fucking conversation. I don't watch college football, so I don't want to hear in the comments, oh, this is a guy that doesn't watch college football. No shit. I'm telling you that. But I paid enough attention to know I would not draft that motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. I'm not spending a first round top 15 pick on him. I don't care if you can sit him, you know who else? You could sit AJ McCarron behind fucking Andy Dalton forever, and he didn't turn out to be shit. You know, and AJ McCarron,
I know all about AJ McCarron.
But you do, like, he literally won a national championship. He had the hottest girlfriend ever, and it was like, but nobody knows.
And we started him in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know, because Derek Carr was hurt. I know. Thankful he was hurt that year, but. So first round, you said if they draft defense, we know how their defensive picks go. If a quarterback falls,
I'd like to see them, if one of the quarterbacks falls to them, I'd like to see them take a quarterback or a right tackle.
Okay. Yes, but the beans are done, buddy. Yeah, you can turn them off.
I'd like to see the Raiders starting in round 2 focus on defense.
Okay, and what positions do you want them to target the most?
Well, they need to target cornerback and free safety.
Okay.
So we need a free safety. Like I said earlier, I was hoping they were going to address the free agency or the free safety situation in free agency, but they didn't.
No.
I mean, there's still time for them to do that, but
Yeah, because there's still a lot
I
of
don't
good free
know.
agents out there too. Because
Free safeties are out there.
you know how the draft how it goes though. It's gonna quiet down until right after the draft, and then you'll start to see a pickup in influx in people being signed. So
Yeah.
so basically, you're like, I don't care what you want the best available at. You want a right tackle, but if there's not a good right tackle available, you'll take the best available person at first round pick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if it's like, of course they're probably not gonna. But I mean, it could be your right tackle. It could be. I mean, there are some good cornerbacks in this fucking draft, buddy. Like I know
There's
what
there's
you're.
there's a lot of good defense in this draft. That's why I'm hoping we can nail this draft and fucking not
Like,
have another Garyon Conley situation.
will you stop talking? I only know that motherfucker's name because of how much you hate him.
Well, I don't hate him. I just don't like him.
But I only know that name because of how much shit you talk about him. That, like, I would have never known who the hell he was because he doesn't make enough plays for me to know.
Yeah. You ain't lying there.
So I'm just looking up real quick just to see because.
Virtual Sports League said, "What's up?"
Who?
Virtual Sports League says, "What's up?"
What's up, Virtual Sports League? How you doing? We're doing great. Trying to keep this grind on. Hope all's going good with you guys. Okay, so they got you guys. CBS have you guys taking. Oh shit, they have Trey Lance. You have the 17th pick. They have you taking an edge rusher.
I mean, I could see what's his name, Gregory Rousseau. I don't know how to say his last name, or Patrick James.
No, they have
That's
you taking
edge
Jason
on the edge.
Owa. Don't ask me to say these fuckers' names.
I could also see the Raiders taking Mike Ersons.
See, look, I'm 100%, like, I might be tripping, but see, I hope he's still there when we pick. I hope he's still there when we pick. Okay.
Who?
So, Asante Samuel Jr.
Oh.
So, as far as the draft with the Chiefs, I don't really know. We addressed our offensive line completely, which I looked up what our offensive line would have been. So we signed a center. We signed somebody blah. We bring our center back Reamers. Hold on. Why did I just draw a blank real quick? So we have.
Did you guys keep Osemele?
No, he's actually an unrestricted free agent. Yeah, I have him right now. So we didn't sign him back. We signed Andrew Wiley back, and then we bring back Mike Reamers, who was our right tackle, and then there's two people that opted out from our line this season. The
one
the
was
doctor in Canada,
wasn't
the French Canadian, Laurent Tarif. I can't say his name. Please don't get mad at me. I'm sorry, guys. I suck at all names. My syllable pronunciation is not
all
good.
of them. Fucks them all up.
And then we have, and then of course we signed Joe Tunney. Oh, and then we bring Kyle Long back, which is funny because when you told me that you hoped that Kyle Long came to the Raiders, I was talking shit. Like, fuck that. Why would you have him come out of retirement to come to the Raiders? And then he signed with the Chiefs, and I was like, oh shit! Yeah, Kyle Long's back. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. The Raiders didn't even offer him.
I know. I saw that shit too. They didn't offer him on his visit. So I mean, our line is pretty much.
The only reason I was hoping they would sign him is because he's the son of Howie Long.
Of course. That
so he's the son of a Raider Green.
But that's okay. Let his ass come over here. So our line, I'm pretty good with. If we take a couple linemen later on, I'm okay with. I really, really want them to take Asante Samuel as a cornerback. Like, with our cornerbacks, I love our cornerbacks. I love Jatavius Ward. I like Sneed. Why am I'm always fucking draw a blank in the middle of these podcasts. You know when you start talking about shit, like, and then you draw a blank, and you're like, what the fuck did I just say? So, but I still think that in this day and age, you need 3 to 4 good cornerbacks. You need easily. You don't need 3 to 4 stars, But you need 3 to 4 serviceable quarterbacks, especially when you're going up against teams that like to spread it out, which is what our division is becoming. Like a very offensive driven league. When you got to guard Sneed, Brown, Ruggs, and Waller, I need another fucking cornerback on my team. That's all I'm saying. When I got to guard Keenan Allen and whoever the fuck the Chargers decide to have on, fuck the Chargers. I don't care about them. When I got to guard Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutherland, I need another, and Vance, what's his name? Vance Fat or Fant? I need another cornerback. So I hope we take cornerback. And then I really like our defensive line is a little bit better after signing Jarran Reed. So we're gonna play Chris Jones probably at a lot of defensive end. And we'll have Jarran Reed and Nandi off of I really need to get like a name reader. A name speaker. Alexa, say this name. I don't have an Alexa. I've seen the movie iRobot. Fuck Alexa. So
don't say that too loud because my Alexa's in the next room and I'm not trying to hear her right now.
We have him. We have Jones. We have Taco Carlton. And then our defensive line should be better. Our linebacking core is not bad with Frank Clark coming off the end. And then, God, I am telling you, I am literally drawing a blank. But I wouldn't mind, like I said, I wouldn't mind a couple linebackers. Wouldn't mind a couple, can I just depth chart? I wouldn't mind a couple, here we go. So yeah, Chris Jones, defensive end, which Chris Jones would move to. Anthony Hitchens. Willie Gay's our linebacker, so I'm good with that. And then we got Frank Clark coming off as a right D end. So we'll have Chris Jones play a lot of D end, and then the Jarran Reed play a lot of D tackle. Then we'll have, so really honestly, we need a cornerback. Looking at our cornerbacks, I love Ward. Why could I not remember Fenton's name? I cussed his ass out all fucking year. I loved Ward, but I think we need another right cornerback, and I'm okay if we take a couple linebackers, a couple cornerbacks and linebackers. That's what we're looking at, and maybe a defensive line or two. But really, honestly, first round, Asante Samuel. Let's get him, Asante Samuel Jr. Let's get him on our team. He won't be dropping interceptions to end Super Bowls. And then, and then let's go after a couple linebackers, and then we're gonna draft a receiver because we always do. And right about now, we're going to need to get one, but we're not going to get one. We're going to get one in the later rounds. We'll get like, I don't fucking know because I don't know any of these receivers. Because again, I don't watch college football.
I mean, you could get a Murray Rogers.
Yeah, there we go. I'll go with what you said because you pay more attention to that shit than I do. So I'm an NBA guy, and by the way, the WNBA is starting soon, and we are definitely all in. Just to let everybody know, y'all need to like, subscribe, follow, share all of this content. Help us out.
Or you could also get Terrace Marshall Jr. or Justin Ross.
You know what the worst part about this is? I've been playing the shit out of some Madden too, right? And I keep redoing Madden franchises because I'll get a franchise and I'll go to the draft and then I'll be like, oh shit. And then I'll play with the team and be like, this team sucks. So I actually did a Madden. I was doing that before I got on the podcast, and I still don't know who these fucking guys are. Like, and I go and scout them in Madden, and I still don't know who they are. Like, I literally drafted 2 third-round receivers like an hour and a half ago from that profile. I still know who the fuck they are.
No, I mean, I gotta go back and redo because I wrote down like a month and a half ago our draft, what I was thinking the Raiders were going to do in the draft, but then we made a bunch of moves and stuff. So now I got to go back and redo everything.
Yeah, you haven't really, like, you did it a little different. Like you focused on the draft before free agency, and then you change what you think should happen based off of free agency. Where I don't look at free agency, the draft until after free agency starts. Like, I mean, for my team. Everybody else, of course, I know the Trevor Lawrence's, the Jamar Chase's, the Waddle, the guy from fucking Alabama, even though I can't pronounce his name. I know a lot of these people, but I'm telling you, there's one guy that I really have a Samuel Kosimai. He's an offensive line from Texas. He's a junior. If he's there, we need to take him. You have him up there? Samuel Kosama. Yeah. Yep, you have him from a month ago. That's why he talks about the draft shit and I don't. So, yeah, I only know him because I drafted him on a franchise, and he actually was really good for me. So, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I had the Raiders taking him in the 3rd round.
Okay, yeah, so they have him as a 1st-round pick.
Yeah. But, I mean, everything's changed over the last month. So
Of course, you know the risers and the pro days. Speaking of pro days, did you watch Justin Fields' pro day today?
I didn't.
Did you watch Zach Wilson's pro day?
Nope.
Did you happen to see Zach Wilson's throw?
No. I think every time their pro days came out, I think I was at work, or if there was one today, I just slept all day today.
So the Zach Wilson throw was a throw that everybody's loving, and it was a dime of a pass for a pro day.
Yeah.
But it was a dime of a pass for t-shirt and shorts. And I'm just saying. And one receiver. Don't get me wrong, the pass was fucking going across his body, backpedaling off his back foot, threw it like 60 yards. I just wanted to know if you saw that because that was all the rage, like on Friday.
I did see a post about Trevor Lawrence. There were some Patriots players training or whatever, and Lawrence walked through.
Oh. And said, "Fuck y'all bitches, I'm beating you next year."
Right. I think I seen that yesterday after I got off work.
So, let's talk about this real quick trade that happened over the weekend. That was like the biggest trade in the fucking world. The Niners. Trading up their whole fucking future for...
I don't even remember what it was. I gotta look.
It's the 1st round pick, the 12th pick, 2 more first rounds, and I think a 3rd round. But let me know what I think. It's either a 3rd or a 2nd. So it's a total of 3 picks.
So the Dolphins trade a number 3 overall pick to the 49ers for the number 12 pick and a 21 3rd round pick. And first round picks in 22 and 23.
Yeah, so that's right. 3 first-round picks and a 2020 and a 3rd round pick. Damn. Pretty good at that shit. So, are they taking a quarterback?
Why else do you go up to number 3? I don't see why else you would move up to number 3 if you're not planning on taking a quarterback.
Because what if the quarterback that you were taking was available at 12? Like if you look at the draft, right? So just going by the draft, okay? First pick, we know Trevor Lawrence, the Jets. Then you had Miami. Miami was not taking a quarterback, okay? They were not. So true, somebody could have traded up with Miami to get that quarterback spot, and they could have taken your quarterback. I get that. Atlanta, we don't know what the fuck they're doing, but it doesn't look like they're taking a quarterback. The Bengals are not taking a quarterback, okay? The Eagles probably were not taking a quarterback who were at the 6th pick at the time, and then they traded with the Miami Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? The Lions, they're not taking a quarterback. They just got Jared Goff. So, yes, the Panthers could take a quarterback. You see what I'm saying? The Broncos could take a quarterback. The Cowboys aren't, and the Giants aren't. So at the 12th pick, you literally at that time had the Cowboys, the Panthers, maybe the Falcons, and whoever traded up to get to the number 3 spot. Do you see what I'm saying? So if your guy is Mac Jones, and that's the guy that you want at the number 3 spot, I already said you don't draft an Alabama quarterback. You damn sure don't draft him with the number 3 overall pick over Justin Fields. What the hell is wrong with people right now?
I mean, I got a feeling they're going after Fields.
So look, if they draft Fields, I'm okay with that. I am complete, and that sounds bad, but I'm completely okay with going for the number 3. But this is also my issue that I have. Okay, What are you doing with Jimmy Garoppolo?
I mean, I think his days are numbered in San Francisco.
Well, we all know their days are numbered. We know that. But what are you doing with him? Are you trading him before this offseason?
We never know with San Francisco what they're going to do.
But you see where I'm going with, though, right?
Right.
Like his contract.
And when I seen the trade, I mean, the only realistic thing I could think of to move up to number 3 from 12 was to make a play for Justin Fields.
His contract is $26 million. You were trading up to get a quarterback, to sit behind a quarterback that you're paying $26 fucking million. And again,
and didn't they just sign?
They can trade him because if they trade him this offseason, he's already got his roster bonus. He gets a $600,000 workout bonus. But if they trade him this offseason, he only has $2 million of dead cap. Because all the cap was done in the first couple years. You see what I'm saying? So they could literally trade him and free up $24 million in cap room. So, like, the only way I do not see them taking Mac Jones and letting him sit behind Jimmy G for a year. Because in my opinion, like, okay, people are like, oh, well, the Justin Love or the Andy Dalton with Carson Palmer. They traded up from the second round to the 20th pick to get fucking Justin Love. Or the 22nd pick. They did not trade up to the fucking 3rd pick. Like, there's a big difference in draft capital from the 3rd to the 20th something pick. Like, that's just... And the Eagles took who they took at their position that they had to pick. You do not trade 3 first-round picks to have a guy sit on your bench for a fucking year while playing... And look, unless you have Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning... I'm not even putting Patrick Mahomes in that category as of right now, which I think he could be. But as of right now, those are the 3 quarterbacks that I 100% know that no matter what you do on their team, if they were good the year before, they're still going to be good that year, regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is including that too. So, I just don't know. Like, I think they're built to win now. You were in the Super Bowl 2 fucking years ago. You're not going to sit around and wait for a quarterback to develop for a year and think that... well, maybe Jimmy G can play good enough this year to get us somewhere. Obviously, you don't think so because you're drafting a fucking quarterback when you have him on your team. So, like, in my opinion, I think they're throwing everybody for okie doke. I think they're going up to get a receiver. I know it would be unheard of. I know it would sound dumb as shit to give away 3 first-round picks for a receiver. But if Jimmy G's healthy, they won 7 games without him last year with fucking whoever the fuck they were starting. Or 6. You're going to be a playoff team every single year. You see what I'm saying? Or with 7 teams, you're going to be in the mix. So your pick is going to be 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or later. Maybe 18. Or later. Do you see what I'm saying?
Or do you think they're you think they're going to try to get Devontae Smith or Waddle?
I think it's Waddle or Chase.
Or Chase.
Yep. I think it's Waddle or Chase. But now this is my thing, and I honestly think it's Chase. But I'm not 100% positive. The reason why I say this is they don't have a number 1 receiver. They're doing something very similar to what you guys have, where you have your George Kittle is their number 1, and they have a lot of fast receivers. Why would you not? And again, I wouldn't have traded 3 first-round picks for this, but you have a defense. You have an outstanding run game. Your offensive line is set. You have a tight end. Really, all you need is outside weapons. So maybe they're thinking we're good enough to be halfway decent and next year we'll be really great, but we don't know how that works. San Francisco, you guys were in the Super Bowl, and then 2 years later... But if they're thinking
they're halfway decent, they just gave away their first-round picks for 22 and 23.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what makes me think they're trying to take a quarterback.
But this is the issue. I don't. If you take a quarterback, I think there's a good chance they can make the playoffs. If you take one of these receivers, you are now a Super Bowl contender. Remember, they had Emmanuel Sanders, and he was a big target for them when they were doing Deebo Samuel and all of them. They have a defense, a run game, and a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes or turnovers. He just can't be healthy. Ultimately, they'll probably take a quarterback. But my gut tells me they're giving us the okie doke and they're going after a receiver.
Like, I can see what you're saying. It's just you gave up your first round picks for next year and the year after. So you got to, in my mind, you got to make a play for a quarterback.
Well, if you think about it this way, okay, Jimmy G signed for 2 years. You don't really have to make a play. And at $24 million for his contract, it's really a bargain in this day and age of the quarterback marketing contracts. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, again, thinking of it this way, if Jimmy G... what happens if Jimmy G plays really fucking good next year? Are you really getting rid of him?
What happens if he doesn't? And you took a receiver.
You're fucked either way. You're taking Mac Jones. It doesn't fucking matter. Again, if they take Justin Fields, I take back everything I say. But rumor has it they're taking Mac Jones. I don't understand why you trade up to the 3 pick to go after a quarterback that probably wouldn't have been taken at the 3 pick even if somebody traded up because Justin Fields was still available. And that's my whole point about that. Like, there's not many people that have Mac Jones higher than Justin Fields besides 1 or 2 teams. So you literally you did a fucking Bears. You traded up to go get your guy that would have been there where the fuck you were at.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I don't think they're taking a Mac Jones. That's why I think they're taking a weapon. And I know it sounds dumb. Why would you trade up all that asset to get a receiver? But in this day and age, let's not act like having a number 1 receiver doesn't change every fucking thing. Like, look at the teams that have a true fucking superstar receiver. Look at DeAndre Hopkins leaving the Texans. He left the Texans, and they were one of the worst teams in the league. Literally. Like, Deshaun Watson still threw for a bunch of yards.
Yeah.
And now you have Arizona that's on the ups trend because Kyler Murray looks a lot better because he had a number 1 receiver. We see this all the time. You see, if you don't have an outstanding quarterback, you got to have a number 1 receiver to make your quarterback look better. If you have an above average quarterback, you got to have that. Jimmy G's an average fucking quarterback. There are many of average quarterbacks that have gone to the playoffs and won Super Bowls. Or won in them. But they've all had weapons. That's just my opinion. Ultimately, they would get fucking killed in the media if they took a receiver after trading all that shit up. So take Justin Fields, San Francisco, and shut the fuck up. But again, maybe they're trying to throw people off that they're going to take Mac Jones and take Justin Fields. You better love Mac Jones a lot. Because, like, it sounds dumb trading for Jamar Chase or Waddle. But, motherfucker, if you gave up 3 first-round picks for fucking Andy Dalton, you're going to look dumb as shit. Yeah. And that's what I think they fucking got. I think they got Andy Dalton or A.J. McCarron or trying to think in my head. Fuck, they might have got Carson Wentz or fucking Jared Goff. I don't fucking know. But, like, again, it's not... One of y'all are fucking up in the top 3 picking, and I'm guaranteeing you it's not the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. It's more like... And the Jets are clusterfuck anyway, so it doesn't matter.
They're a big-ass dumpster fire.
Do you think there will be any... Do you think... Okay. Do you think that the Patriots will trade for Jimmy G? I know I'm on this a lot, but that was so much big news this weekend.
I mean, there's been a lot of reports out there about it. There's been a lot of people speculating that they're thinking about it. But I don't know. I mean, I can see it happening. But I think Belichick's going to try to pull off another. Let's try to draft another Brady late in the rounds.
So this has Trey Lance going to the Patriots, CBS. But Kristen actually said that she thinks that Belichick's, if he gets lucky and Justin Fields falls to him, but she doesn't think he's going to draft a quarterback. And that's the issue. Like, even Bill Belichick knows. This is also my issue. Mac Jones is supposed to be the next Brady. Like, he's the next Brady. Okay. How many Bradys? How many unmobile quarterbacks that were not the best at throwing? Their arm strength was above average. Do people forget that Brady is so great because how fucking smart he is? Like, it's not just the talent, it's also his intellect for being a QB. Mac Jones, if Brady was drafted in this day and age, could he still become great? Yes. But it's a totally different NFL. You're looking at more mobile quarterbacks. So, Kyle Shanahan, I'm going to say what Swagoo said on ESPN today, motherfucker. You went to the Super Bowl with Matt Ryan, and you lost. You went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G, and you lost. You know what they have in common? Unathletic pocket passers. Mac Jones. Go with the athlete.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I heard so much shit about that. I knew we were talking about the draft. That was a good time to slip it in. I had to go with that. You know what's funny? I love being right. Because, like, I was talking shit to my girlfriend today when she said she was going to the gym. I was like, you're not going to be home till 8. She's like, no, I'll be home at 6:30. She's still not home. So, her time concept is better. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about, then we'll go ahead and get up off of here. Well, I mean, we don't even have to talk about it. We can. We're at 57 minutes. We could talk about Deshaun Watson. Or we could say that till we find out when he answers.
I think we wait till he answers.
Yeah, we got to wait because we going to need a lot of time to talk about that shit. Listen, if y'all listening to us right now, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, and follow. We will not be here next week because Geremy is getting a chest tattoo. You might see some basketball footage or something else in place of that because I'd be going to play basketball now. I just got to get my camera stand. So we might see some highlights or something. So we might just see that. But we gonna need a good hour to talk shit about this. And I'm letting y'all know, it will not be politically correct. So you will probably hear the words retarded, dumbass, fucknuts, stupid shit. All the bad words that could get us canceled, you'll probably fucking hear that shit. I promise you. So if you don't like it and you do want to see the savageness when me and Geremy get together and talk shit off of YouTube, definitely come see this Deshaun Watson because we going to let it all fly and we going to be 100% honest. Right, Geremy?
Hey, that's all we do.
We squirt the line a little bit. Like, we're honest, but we toe the line. We kind of keep it like...
We toe that line real close.
But we going over the motherfucking line is what I'm saying. Like, that, like there will be no towing of the line. Like, here is the line, and we jumping over this. Like, we just cutting that shit. That's all I'm saying. The line's gone. We rambo in that shit. So make sure you catch that again. It will not be next Tuesday. It will be the Tuesday after that. So we'll be back on the 6th. Oh, shit. That's March.
It's the 13th.
The what?
I think it'll be the 13th.
We'll be back on the 13th. Remember to like, subscribe, share, follow us on all our social media. LV Benchwarmers for Twitter. Instagram is Vegas Benchwarmers. Facebook is Vegas Benchwarmers. And to all 86 subscribers, we love you guys very much. Be safe out there. And with that, Geremy, take us out.